Welcome back to another lesson in HU Trading Basic series. Today we will discuss about the different order types. So let's begin. So before we discuss the different kind of orders you can place, we need to understand how the price movement happens. In the market, you will have people who are willing to buy at a certain price, and then you have other people who are willing to sell at a certain price. So all of these people, all of these participants come together and they will mark their price in an open auction, and the person who bids the highest ends up getting the best price, ends up getting the highest price where someone is willing to buy. And then there will be another person who will be the one who is willing to sell at the lowest price compared to all others. So the person or the highest price that a buyer is willing to pay, that's going to be called the bid. The lowest price that a seller is willing to sell at, that's going to be called your ask or offer. And the difference between these two is the bid-ask spread. So in our example right here, you see these blue orders. Those are buy orders. So people are bidding at 105.67 and the offer is at 105.68. In this case, the spread is only 1 cent. Your ask will be 105.68 and your bid will be 105.67. You have other people who have placed orders at lower prices and other people who have placed orders at higher prices. And this whole thing is called a trading matrix. So let's look at the different order types. We will discuss them all one by one. But the most common ones that we will use are limit orders, market orders, stop or stop market orders, stop limit orders, and then there's a special one called stop protection order, and I will discuss its use case in the future slide. So let's start with a limit order. When you put in a limit order, you make sure that you will buy or sell a stock at the specified price or better. For example, in this case, if your limit order, this 100 limit, that's a limit order right there. And the order is at 105.65. So what a limit order means is you will either get 105.65 or less. You will never get a price that's higher than what you have specified. As a buyer, you're willing to pay 105.65 and you will be lucky to pay less. If there was a limit order on the offer side, then as a seller, you're saying that I will accept 105.75 for my product or higher, which as a seller, you would be happy to do so. But you would not have your order filled at a price lower than this. So if you put a limit order, the buy on the limit order will be at the price you specify or below it. The sell on the limit order would be at the price you specify or above it. And then the abbreviation is LMT. A market order. When you place a market order, you're looking for immediate execution. You will get filled at the best offer or at the best bid depending on the trade you're doing. So let's say if I do a market buy order right now on this trading matrix, I will get filled at 105.68. I will end up buying there. If I do a market order, if I'm trying to sell on this trading matrix, I will get filled at 105.67. My order will immediately execute. They're abbreviated as MKT for market orders. Now, what's a stop market order? A stop market order says that if you have any open positions and you specify where your stop is, once the price reaches that stop, the broker is supposed to close your open position as a market order. So I will give you an example. In this case, we have 100 stop at 105.60. So likely what has happened is the person has either bought this product, let's say he's long. Let's assume for this example he's long. So in this case, if price comes down all the way to 105.60, aka if bid ask was here, then the stop order will become live and it will execute a market order. So it will close out the long position right away at the bid. The risk in this case of market orders is what would happen if there's a gap up or gap down. So if there was a massive gap up, in that case, or in this case, let's say in our example, if there was a massive gap down, our stop order will go live and it will execute a market order. Let's say the gap down was to 103. Then we end up closing our long position almost $2.50 below we intended to. So that's the risk with stop market orders. And there's a way to avoid this risk, which we'll discuss with the market protection orders. A stop market order is abbreviated as STP. A stop limit order. A stop limit order says that once the stop price is hit, then the broker is supposed to put in a limit order at a specified price that you will specify before you put your stop limit order. So the order will be placed at that specified price and that is intended to close your position. Now the risk with that is, let's say your stop is hit, but the market is too fast and your limit order never gets hit and market keeps going against you. So that's the risk that comes with stop limit orders. The final one, stop market protection order, is exactly like stop market order. The only difference is you define a range where it should execute the order. Let's say plus minus 1%. If the gap is more than that, your stop order won't get executed. That way you protect yourself against unforeseen events. Happens very rarely, but it's something to know. So those are the main orders you will place. One thing that might be confusing, which I will point out because it comes in again and again. Let's say this is the trading matrix, but you want to buy once price reaches, let's say 105.73. So how will you buy once price reaches there? You can either actively monitor the market, or if you want to place an order, you can't place a limit order because that will execute right. If you put a limit order 105.73, that will execute right away at 105.67. Why? Because you're buying at a lesser price. The limit order is doing its job. You can't do a market order. What you have to do is a stop market order. If you want to buy at 105.73 automatically while the price is lower, then you will do a stop buy order or stop market order for buying, and you will specify the price of the stop as 105.73. So this is one that comes in handy. It's used quite often, so it's one to keep in mind. All right, that was it for the most common market orders. I'm sure it will help out many of you, and I will see you in the next video.